Hi, this is Lori Alexander from The Transformed Wife. And a woman recently told me that several of her friends who just had children, had babies, told her that they're kind of questioning, what have I done with my life? Their lives are turned upside down. They don't have free time anymore. They they're interrupted all the time. It's a mundane life, having to change diaper after diaper. And they're very upset and frustrated and thinking that they made the wrong decision in having a child. And I just want to encourage all of you young women in having children is that our life isn't about us. And the more that you learn to serve and not be served, the happier you are. And it's a huge, huge sacrifice to be pregnant for 9 months and then to give birth and then to raise that child to adulthood. I know I had 4 children and I did that, and I did it, and I was very ill the whole entire time, and my husband was gone half the year. So the majority of raising my children, disciplining them, training them, leading them in the right ways was on my shoulders. But I look back at it and I see how the Lord used those years of suffering on my part and having to serve in spite of how I felt for good for me and making me into the person I am today. And I've learned throughout the years, I'm so much more happy being generous, learning to serve, than be served and just have my free time and do what I want to do. I spend a lot of time now watching my grandbabies. I go see my mom, my old mom, and then just spend time in my home, taking care of my husband when he needs it, and mentoring women. And I just find the more that I stop thinking about myself and what I want, and instead serve others, the happier I am. And what greater sacrifice can you have, women, than having children and raising them up as godly offspring to be salt and light in this wicked world that we live in. And this is what God's called the majority of women to do. If He blesses you with children, if He blesses you with a husband and then with children, He wants you to raise them up for Him. And read the Bible to them consistently, have them memorize verses, hide God's word deeply in their hearts so that they won't sin against Him. And yet, it's a lot of mundane work, changing the diapers, doing the dishes over and over again, cleaning toilets, doing laundry. I mean, it's just consistent over and over, the same thing over and over. But you know what? Those moments turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into years, and all of a sudden they're all grown up and gone. And it does happen. And if you've taken the time to raise those children right, they're such huge blessings, and they're the gift that keeps on giving, because now we have grandchildren that we absolutely adore, and we just love spending time with our grandchildren. So count it a privilege if the Lord blesses you with children, and count it a privilege that you can, as the Lord has sacrificed so much for us, we can sacrifice for others, and He's called us to do that. He said the greatest of all is the servant of all. So learn to be content as a mother and as a housewife or a homemaker, and doing the mundane day after day, and find joy in it. Because you think about it, the Apostle Paul wrote Philippians while he was in a dungeon, in prison, chained up. And yet he wrote some of his best, my favorite verses: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and rejoice always. Again, I say rejoice, while he was in a dungeon. And so if he can do that, we can surely find reasons to be joyful and be thankful while we're raising these precious children who have eternal souls, who will live forever and ever. Count it all with joy, my friends, and do your work as unto the Lord, and you will find great blessing in it and great reward. Bye-bye.